8 months. That's how long it took for my revenge to reach him. And the funny thing, he still doesn't know what's happening. He thinks he's just unlucky. But the truth is, I've been quietly dismantling his life piece by piece ever since the night he looked me straight in the eyes and denied cheating while I was holding the proof in my hands. Tonight is my last night in this apartment. Tomorrow, I disappear. But before I go, let me tell you how I destroyed a man who thought he could never lose me. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who swore they'd never hurt you, grab your headphones. If you've ever wished you could serve justice slowly, beautifully, coldly, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this isn't just a breakup story. This is the quietest, sharpest revenge you'll ever hear. My name doesn't matter, at least not in this story. What matters is what he did and what I became because of it. 8 months ago, I was a different person, softer, trusting, the kind of girl who assumed people meant what they said, especially the person I loved. His name was Ethan. And Ethan, well, Ethan loved Ethan more than he ever loved me. But it took me years to see it. He wasn't a cartoon villain. He didn't slam doors or scream or treat me like trash outright. He was worse. He was charming, warm, affectionate in all the places the world could see. He wrapped his manipulations in soft smiles and warm hands, in forehead kisses and late-night confessions. He was the kind of man who made you feel lucky to be chosen. And I was so grateful for a long time. I clung to him like he was the only stable thing I had. The truth is, I built my life around him. My routines, my weekends, my friends, my future, it all had him woven into it like golden thread. So, of course, I didn't see the rot growing underneath. Of course, I didn't notice the cracks. Of course, I didn't question the nights he was working late, or the weekends he needed space, or the sudden new cologne I didn't buy. I trusted him, blindly, stupidly. But betrayal has a smell, you know. It's subtle at first, a faint sourness in the air, something your heart notices long before your mind does. And the night everything died, I finally smelled it. It was a Tuesday. Random, quiet, meaningless. One of those evenings where nothing special happens, where you expect life to be easy and predictable. I remember standing at the sink, washing dishes, humming under my breath. My phone buzzed on the counter. A notification. Instagram DM. From a girl I didn't know. At first, I ignored it, until I saw the preview text. Hey, I think you should know what your boyfriend has been doing. I wiped my hands on a towel, confused, my heart already tightening. It felt like my body knew before my brain caught up. I opened the message. There they were. Photos, screenshots, messages, proof. She wasn't cruel. She wasn't bragging. She wasn't trying to start drama. She was tired. Tired of being lied to by him. Tired of being the secret. Tired of realizing she wasn't the only one being played. Her messages were apologetic, soft, almost embarrassed. I didn't know he was with someone. I'm sorry. I thought you should see this. And then the screenshots came in like bullets. Ethan telling her she was different. Ethan telling her he felt trapped in his relationship. Ethan telling her he couldn't leave me yet because I needed him emotionally. Ethan planning dates with her on nights he told me he was sick. Ethan saying he wanted to try living together with her eventually. Each message carved a new wound into me. I don't know how long I stood there. I don't know how many times I reread everything, hoping I'd misunderstood, hoping there was some explanation. There wasn't. My breathing turned shallow. My hands turned ice cold. My ribs felt like they were shrinking around my heart. Betrayal is physical. It makes your body collapse before your mind even forms the words. He cheated. He lied. He chose her. I felt it like a punch in the stomach, like the room tilted sideways. But it wasn't the cheating that broke me. It was what happened next. When Ethan came home that night, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't throw things. I sat perfectly still on the couch, the screenshots open on my phone, glowing like a quiet accusation between us. He dropped his keys in the bowl and smiled at me like nothing had happened. "Hey, babe, you okay?" I remember looking at him and feeling nothing. No anger yet, no sadness yet, just emptiness. This frozen, hollow quiet inside me. "Ethan," I said softly, and I watched something flicker in his eyes. He knew. He knew exactly why my voice sounded like that. "What's wrong?" he asked, but his tone had already changed. Defensive, sharp. I turned my phone toward him. He stared at the screen for a long moment, and then he did the thing only truly arrogant people do. He smiled. He actually smiled. "Seriously?" he scoffed. "You're going to believe some random girl? You know how obsessed people can get online." I didn't blink, didn't move. "Her screenshots match your schedule," I said quietly. He rolled his eyes, as if people can't fake timestamps. Then he crossed his arms and leaned against the wall like the victim in all this. "You should know better than to accuse me. You always get paranoid for no reason, and honestly, it's exhausting." That was it. That was the moment the last piece of love I had for him died. Not because he cheated, but because he looked me in the eyes, caught red-handed, and decided the best strategy was to gaslight me, to make me feel crazy, to punish me for confronting him. My voice barely rose above a whisper, but every syllable tasted like steel. "I have the photos, Ethan." He shrugged. "So what? Everyone flirts. Don't be dramatic." And that was when something in my chest snapped. A quiet, irreversible snap. I stood up slowly. He watched me, confused, annoyed, irritated that I wasn't melting into apologies for accusing him like I usually did. I didn't scream. I didn't collapse. I didn't beg. I just said, calmly, "Leave." He blinked. "What?" "Get out," I repeated. "Tonight." And suddenly, swiftly, his arrogance cracked. "Wait, okay, hold on, babe, come on, let's talk about this." He switched tactics instantly, from dismissive to tender, from arrogant to pleading, from lying to desperate. He knelt beside me. He held my hands. He swore it meant nothing. He swore she meant nothing. He swore he didn't want to lose me. And the worst part? Some pathetic part of me still loved him enough to feel the pull. But love is no match for betrayal. I let him talk himself into knots. I let him ramble, beg, promise, cry. And as he did, something cold settled inside me. A decision. A perfect, sharp, glittering idea. I would stay. But not because I wanted him. I would stay because he would never recover from what I would become. 8 months. 8 months until I had enough savings to move out and start over. 8 months to destroy him. Quietly, slowly, beautifully. So when he finally asked, "Can we fix this?" with those wide, guilty puppy dog eyes, I smiled. A small, cold smile. And I whispered, "Okay, let's try again." He wrapped his arms around me, relieved, choking out, thank you, babe, I love you." But in my head, I was already planning my first move. Ethan slept beside me that night with his arm draped across my waist like nothing had happened. His breathing was even, calm, the breathing of a man who truly believed he'd won. I stared at the ceiling for hours, listening to that slow, steady rhythm, my mind the quietest it had ever been. Not angry, not hurt, just calculating. He didn't even know I wasn't sleeping, didn't realize his hand kept slipping off my skin because I kept inching away, millimeter by millimeter, as if every cell in my body rejected him. Somewhere around 3 a.m., he shifted and whispered, "Love you." And that was the moment I realized something disturbing. He really thought I'd forgiven him. He thought he had enough charm to talk his way out of anything. He thought I needed him too much to leave. He thought he was untouchable. He thought he owned me. He thought I would crumble without him. He thought I'd always come back. And that arrogance, that smug, overconfident, self-satisfied arrogance would be the exact thing I would use to destroy him. I whispered nothing back, just closed my eyes and imagined the next 8 months laid out in front of me like a chessboard, every piece already in motion. The next morning, I woke up before him, not because I wanted to, because I wanted him to believe everything was normal, routine, predictable. Ethan thrived on predictability. It made him feel powerful. He liked knowing my schedule. He liked knowing I would always be the one waiting while he texted me, "Running late, sorry babe." He liked the control. So I gave it right back to him, wrapped in a perfect smile. "Morning," I said softly when he came into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes and yawning like a child. He blinked at me, surprised by the gentleness in my voice, then relieved. He stepped behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist, kissing my shoulder like always. I didn't tense, didn't pull away. I blended into him like I used to. But inside, I was stone. He poured himself coffee and watched me quietly. Then, with a voice so careful it almost sounded rehearsed, "We're okay, right?" I turned, lifted my chin, and gave him the softest smile. "We're okay," I lied. His shoulders sagged in relief. He didn't hug me, he clutched me. It was the first sign of weakness I had seen from him in years, and it tasted so, so sweet. Revenge doesn't work if the target suspects anything. Suspicion makes them alert. Alertness makes them careful. Carefulness ruins everything. So my plan was simple. Make him believe I was healing. Make him believe his apologies had worked. Make him believe the relationship was even stronger now. And at the same time, take one small thing from him every day. A possession, a convenience, a joy, a comfort, a piece of his confidence, a sliver of his sanity. 8 months is a long time. You can destroy a man completely with 8 months of erosion. It's like water dripping on stone. Soft, quiet, patient, but eventually it carves canyons. So I started small, very small, so small he would blame himself. He had a leather wallet his father gave him, the kind of sentimental object men don't admit has meaning, but they check their pocket for it 3 times a day. He treasured it, said it made him feel put together. So I took it. Not dramatically, not out of the blue. I waited until he left it on the coffee table while going to shower. I picked it up calmly, walked to my coat closet, and slid it behind a box of winter scarves he never touched. Not stolen, not destroyed, just gone. I sat on the couch and waited. 10 minutes later, he came out. "Hey, have you seen my wallet?" His voice was confused, not panicked. Yet. I shook my head. "No, did you check the bedroom?" He checked. Then the kitchen, the bathroom, his jacket pockets. Then he checked again. And again. Each time a little more frantic. "I literally put it right here," he muttered, tapping the coffee table like the wood had betrayed him. I shrugged gently. "Maybe you misplaced it. You've been so stressed, babe." His jaw tightened. He hated when things went missing. He hated feeling disorganized. He hated anything that made him feel out of control. But I kept folding laundry and humming, pretending I wasn't watching him unravel. Eventually, he snapped. "Jesus, where the fuck is it?" I stood up and placed my hand on his arm. "Hey, it's okay. We'll find it. Let's look together." That part, that tiny performance of support, was critical. Revenge works best when delivered with kindness. It confuses the brain. It makes the suffering feel like an internal flaw, not an external attack. 45 minutes later, he still hadn't found it. By the time he left for work, he was visibly shaken, agitated, snappy, annoyed at himself. While locking the door, he said bitterly, "Great, amazing start to my day." I kissed his cheek sweetly. "You'll find it soon," I whispered. He didn't. Not for 4 more months. But that comes later. Sleep deprivation destroys people, quietly, slowly, beautifully. It doesn't scream, it doesn't bruise. It simply exhausts the soul until every emotion feels heavier. I never shook him awake violently. That would show intent. But I learned his sleep pattern, his cycles. I knew when he entered REM. I knew when his breathing changed. I knew when he dreamt lightly enough to be disturbed. And around 1:40 a.m., every 2 or 3 nights, I'd slowly shift in bed. Just enough. I'd sigh loudly, turn on a dim lamp, pretend to cry softly into my pillow, murmur, "Can we talk, please? I can't sleep. I just keep thinking about what you did." He would jump awake instantly, guilt punching him in the chest. Then he'd sit up, rubbing his face, exhausted beyond belief. The irony is, he made me lose sleep when he cheated. Now, I returned the favor. He didn't know it, but within 3 weeks, his under-eye circles darkened, his patience shortened, his memory worsened. He started oversleeping alarms. He blamed work stress, his diet. He blamed everything except me. Because I wasn't screaming, I wasn't angry, I wasn't vengeful. I was a hurt girlfriend trying to heal. He thought he owed me these late-night conversations, thought comforting me was the price for cheating. He never suspected I was intentionally draining him. And every morning when he dragged himself out of bed like a zombie, my mind whispered, "One more weakness, one more thread cut." People think revenge is big moments. It's not. It's thousands of tiny cuts.
The first time I made a comment about him gaining weight, I said it softly, with concern. "Are you okay? Your shirts seem a little tight lately." He frowned at himself in the mirror for 10 minutes after that. 3 days later, while he was brushing his teeth, I walked by casually. "I think your hairline is receding a little." He choked on toothpaste, stared at his reflection like it had betrayed him. Then, a week later, while sitting on the couch, "You've seemed really distracted lately. Is everything okay?" Every question sounded caring, worried, supportive. But to him, they were seeds. Seeds that grew into doubts. Doubts that grew into insecurity. Insecurity that grew into self-consciousness. A month after the cheating incident, he was a shadow of his arrogant self. Not broken yet, not enough, but bending. And the bending mattered, because snapping comes later. Here's the thing. Men like Ethan do not understand quiet hurt. They understand explosive emotion. Tears, shouting, dramatic breakups, storming out, throwing rings. Those reactions let them play the hero, the forgiver, the fixer. But when you respond with cold silence, when you look at them with those soft, wounded eyes, when you sigh at the right moment, they crumble, because suddenly they are the villain in their own story. I used that. Whenever you seemed too comfortable, too relaxed, too confident that things were back to normal, I'd wait until we were in public, a restaurant, a family dinner, a friend's party. I'd fall silent, just slightly, lower my gaze, twist my napkin, breathe unevenly. And instantly, "What's wrong, babe?" I'd shake my head. "Nothing, I'm fine. I just remembered everything for a second." His friends would look at him. His parents would glance at each other. He'd panic. "No, no, we're good, right? We're okay, babe, right?" I'd swallow hard and whisper, "I'm trying." And suddenly, I became the fragile one. He became the guilty one. Everyone else became witnesses to what he put me through. He couldn't escape it, not even for one meal. His reputation quietly crumbled beneath him, as if he was the unstable one, as if his emotional outbursts were unpredictable, as if he was still begging forgiveness months later. All while I sat beside him playing the calm, forgiving girlfriend. Not once did I say a single bad word aloud about him. I didn't need to. Guilt does its own PR. Ethan used to be the golden boy of his friend group, the loud one, the funny one, the one who planned nights out and dragged everyone along. They loved him. So naturally, I needed to change that. But I wasn't stupid. Destroying friendships directly just makes you look evil. You have to make it look like he is the problem. Not me. Never me. So I started gently, harmlessly. One night, he was getting ready for a big outing, his friend's Liam's birthday. He'd been excited for weeks. I waited until he put on his shoes, tied them, grabbed his jacket. Then I let my voice crack. "Can you stay with me tonight?" His shoulders stiffened instantly. "I told you I had plans, babe." "I know. I just had a nightmare last night about you cheating. I've been trying to shake it all day." His face fell. Instant guilt. "Come on, don't do this now." I shook my head, looking down at my lap like I was ashamed. "I'm sorry. I'm really trying to heal. I shouldn't have said anything." He exhaled sharply, annoyed. But he couldn't leave now, not without being the villain again. "I'll call them," he muttered. He canceled. Just like that. The next week, he bailed on game night because I felt sick. I didn't. I felt great. Then he missed a big football match because I needed support. I didn't. I simply didn't want him having fun. Then he left a housewarming early because I remembered something painful. I didn't. I just wanted him to suffer sitting at home, staring at his phone filled with messages he wished he'd answered. 3 weeks in, Liam texted me privately. "Is Ethan okay? He seems really off. Is he feeling guilty or something?" I responded, "It still hurts sometimes. He's trying." Just that. Just enough to make it seem like Ethan's emotional instability was the reason he kept disappearing. And suddenly, his friends treated him differently. Less invitations, less jokes, less warmth. They felt awkward around him, uncomfortable, unsure whether he'd break down or act weird. He blamed them. He thought they were pulling back. Meanwhile, I was slowly tightening the strings around his social world until he had nowhere to run but home. To me, to the girl with the quiet revenge. This part was almost too easy. Ethan's parents adored me. I baked his mom cookies every Christmas. I helped his dad set up his new phone. I remembered birthdays. I brought wine. I played the perfect daughter-in-law. So when I accidentally slipped one tiny truth into conversation over coffee with his mother, her reaction was beautiful. We were sitting in her kitchen, just the two of us, holding mugs of tea, steam curling into the air. She asked casually, "So how have you two been doing? I was worried after that argument you had last month."
That argument? We fought because he was sexting some girl at work. I set my mug down slowly and sighed. "We're working on things." She frowned. "You sound unsure. Is he treating you well?" I hesitated. Just long enough. Then shook my head. "I don't want to involve you, but he wasn't honest with me. He hurt me. A lot." Her eyes widened. "What did he do?" I shook my head again, looking away. "I shouldn't say. He doesn't want people knowing." That sentence, that one deliberate line, was the spark that lit a forest fire. "What did he do?" she repeated, firmer now. I whispered, "He cheated." The way she gasped, the way her hand flew to her chest, the way anger flooded her face like she'd been personally insulted. Delicious. She slapped the table. "How dare he do that to you?" She wasn't just angry he cheated. She was angry he cheated on me. Because in her eyes, Ethan was flawed, annoying, forgetful, lazy, a show-off. And I was the mature, stable, responsible one who made him better. She confronted him that night. He came home furious, shouting, "Why would you tell my mom?" I stared at him coldly. I didn't tell her anything. She asked how I was doing. I said I was trying to heal. She figured it out. That wasn't a lie. It was a carefully placed truth. He slumped onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. "They won't look at me the same now. Good. Perfect. Correct." He didn't know I visited his parents again 2 weeks later and accidentally let a tear slip when his mom asked if I was okay. She cried too, held my hands, told me no woman deserves that. I agreed silently, especially not his next girlfriend. Ethan was terrible with money, always had been. He bought things impulsively, forgetting bills existed. Ordered takeout like money grew on trees, spent on gadgets he didn't need. So I didn't have to sabotage much. I just had to shift things. One day, I'd forget to pay my half of the electric bill. Another day, I'd accidentally use his card for groceries when I thought it was mine. If he questioned it, I blinked innocently. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. With everything going on emotionally, I must have been distracted." Every time he let it slide. because guilt is expensive. Then I would forget to transfer my half of rent until he reminded me. Then pretend I was overwhelmed. I'm sorry, I really thought I sent it. I've been so emotionally lost lately. You know that. He'd sigh. He'd say, it's fine. He'd pay the difference. He was slowly draining his savings without realizing why. And I, meanwhile, was saving every penny I could. 8 months of watching his bank account bleed was only the beginning. This part became a ritual, a devotion, a daily sacrament in the church of quiet revenge. Every morning and every night, I asked myself, what is one small thing I can take from him today? Here were some of my favorites. I dipped his toothbrush in the toilet, quietly, carefully, sometimes before bed, sometimes in the morning. He got sick twice, mild stomach bugs. He blamed work. I hid his house keys in different spots every few days. He almost cried one morning because he was late for a meeting. I moved his deodorant to random places, under the couch, behind books, inside kitchen drawers. He'd curse and tear the apartment apart. I switched his shampoo with mine, which he hated. He complained his hair felt weird. I nodded sympathetically. I burned his dinner accidentally, ruined his favorite dishes, oversalted the pasta, added too much chili to the curry. He seemed so disappointed every time, but didn't dare criticize, not after cheating. I cooked meals I knew he despised. Babe, can we have something else? I put a lot of effort into this. Oh, sorry. He'd force himself to eat them. Every bite a misery. I opened every package he ordered and acted confused why. I thought it was mine. Sorry. He'd sigh. Every single time. I forgot to wash his work uniform. Or I left it damp in the washer overnight. Or I accidentally tossed it in with towels so it wrinkled horribly. He'd panic every morning getting ready, ironing frantically, rushing breathlessly out the door. Watching him unravel, it felt like exhaling after years of holding my breath. This was the easiest part of the entire plan. Ethan's friends were used to him being the loud center of attention, the charming one, the storyteller. But when he started skipping events, when he became tense, when guilt ate him alive, they naturally gravitated toward the calm, composed, supportive girlfriend. I would show up alone sometimes. Liam would ask, "Is Ethan coming?" I'd sigh softly. "He's been really stressed lately. I'm giving him space." Instant sympathy. Instant favoritism. They started venting to me about Ethan. He's been so flaky. He doesn't respond anymore. He bails on everything. What's up with him lately? I never badmouthed him. I just let them speak. And then, with a gentle, apologetic tone, he's been struggling emotionally. After that, they stopped inviting him to certain things entirely. And they invited me, without him. He hated it, but he never questioned it out loud, because questioning it would force him to confront the truth. He was losing everyone, while I was gaining everyone, and he had no idea he was the architect of his own downfall. By the end of the second month, Ethan was exhausted. He slept poorly, he ate poorly, he worked poorly, he looked pale, stressed, worn, older. And every day, I made sure he questioned himself, subtly, gently, like a loving partner who's concerned. "Are you okay? You seem really off. You look so tired. Are you sure work isn't getting to you? You forgot your lunch again. You're not usually this scatterbrained. You've been so emotional lately. What's wrong?" Each comment felt support, but each comment carved another hole inside him. He was becoming a fragile shell of the arrogant man who once smirked while denying cheating. He was breaking, not dramatically, just quietly, softly, painfully, exactly the way I wanted. Ethan loved his job, Not because he was good at it, he wasn't, but because it made him feel important. He liked things like, "I've been killing it lately. My boss loves me. They rely on me so much." And his arrogance was built on that illusion of competence. So naturally, I wanted to take that from him, quietly, precisely, without leaving fingerprints. It started with the uniform sabotage, forgotten, wrinkled, damp. Then I escalated. I unplugged his phone charger at night, so his alarm died. He overslept twice. He blamed the phone. I changed his calendar reminders. Nothing obvious, just small shifts. A meeting at 10 o'clock suddenly looked like 10:30. A deadline on Thursday suddenly read Friday. He walked in late to things he used to brag about leading. His boss pulled him aside more than once. Every time he came home, his shoulders slumped a little more. "I don't know what's happening to me," he muttered once, raking his fingers through his hair. "I used to have my shit together." I rubbed his back gently. "You're just overwhelmed. It'll get better." He believed me. Of course he did. Because I wasn't screaming. I wasn't angry. I wasn't vengeful. I was supportive. But supportive like a nurse holding a patient's hand while unplugging the machines. One of my favorite nights happened in month 3. We were at a friend's gathering, a small dinner party. Everyone laughed, talked, drank wine. Ethan tried to join in like he used to, tried to be the funny guy, the loud guy, the confident guy, but guilt had hollowed him out. And I had carved him into someone unrecognizable. He made a joke nobody laughed at. His fork slipped from his hand. He spilled wine on his shirt. He apologized too much. His friends exchanged glances. They didn't say anything, but I saw the judgment. He's changed. He's different. He's not the same Ethan. Then it happened. Mid-conversation, I placed my hand on his arm, my voice barely above a whisper. "Are you okay? You look overwhelmed." Everyone turned to look at him. He froze. His cheeks flushed, his throat bobbed. He forced a laugh. "No, I'm fine, just tired." But I didn't look convinced. I gave him a worried girlfriend expression, soft, sad, disappointed. And that expression hit him harder than any slap. He excused himself to the bathroom. He stayed there for 15 minutes. His friend Liam followed him. I pretended not to listen. But later, Liam messaged me. "Is he mentally okay? He seems on edge. If he's not treating you right, you can tell me." I replied, "He's trying, that's all I can say." And with that, Ethan's last safe space, his friendships, cracked. Not my fault, not my doing, just naturally collapsing under the weight of his own guilt and my perfect performance. One of the darkest moments came near month 4. We were lying in bed, lights off, silence thick. He whispered into the darkness, "Do you think I'm a bad person?" My breath didn't hitch, my heart didn't race. I didn't feel pity, not anymore. But I let my voice tremble softly. "I think you made choices that hurt me deeply." He turned toward me, desperate. "But I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can. Doesn't that matter?" I let a tear roll, perfectly timed. "I'm still hurt, Ethan." He swallowed hard. "You're never going to forgive me, are you?" I let a long silence stretch between us. Nothing breaks a man faster than silence. Finally, I whispered, "I don't know yet." He cried, not loudly, not dramatically, just quiet tears soaking into his pillow. I didn't comfort him, not once, because this wasn't the night to give him relief. This was the night to let him sit in the ruins of who he used to be. To let him feel the full weight of his choices, to let him break himself, because broken men are compliant, Broken men are predictable. Broken men don't see betrayal coming twice. This part wasn't real. I didn't actually want any of his friends, but Ethan didn't know that. All I had to do was laugh a little too openly at their jokes, compliment their shirts, touch an arm while walking past, let my smile linger half a second too long. Not flirting, just enough to make him uncomfortable. He'd tug me closer, wrap his arm around me a little tighter, watch them carefully. I never crossed a line. I didn't need to. Jealousy did the rest. One night, he snapped, "Can you not be so friendly with them?" I blinked, innocent. "What do you mean?" "You know what I mean." I tilted my head, hurt. "I'm just being social. Are you saying I can't have friends?" He faltered instantly. "No, forget it." Then he apologized. To me, for accusing me. The irony fed my soul. The last 4 months of my revenge were the most beautiful. Not loud, not explosive, not dramatic, just slow-motion destruction. Every day, one more thing went wrong in his life. A missed meeting, a forgotten errand, a misunderstanding with his boss, a canceled plan, a ruined dinner, a lost item, a fight with a friend, a cold shoulder from his parents. I didn't sabotage every incident. I didn't have to. Once a person believes they're unlucky, their brain fills in the rest. He thought the universe hated him. He thought life was punishing him. He thought he was breaking down. But in reality, I was simply tightening the noose. Quietly, gently, lovingly. While saving every cent. While packing small items slowly in ways he wouldn't notice. While planning my escape. This week was different, special. I barely spoke. I barely looked at him. I barely reacted to anything. He thought it was because I was triggered or in my feelings again. No, it was because I was done, completely done. I watched him move through the apartment like a ghost, tired, defeated, confused, fragile. He'd lost weight, lost color, lost confidence, lost friends, lost sleep, lost happiness, and he didn't even know why. One night, he touched my face gently. "You don't love me anymore, do you?" I didn't answer. He cried again. He begged again. He promised things again. He apologized for the 100th time. And I just watched him, my expression calm and empty. The same way he watched me that first night, when he denied everything with a smirk. Poetic, isn't it? He left for work at 8:14 a.m. I watched from the window as he walked to his car, shoulders slumped, dragging his feet, looking like a man twice his age. He didn't know it was the last time he would ever see me. The moment his car turned the corner, I moved. I grabbed the boxes I'd hidden in the coat closet, the bags under the bed, the suitcase inside the laundry basket, the hidden envelopes of cash. I packed fast, efficiently, with precision that would frighten anyone who truly knew me. By 10 a.m., the apartment was empty of me, completely stripped. By 11 a.m., my keys were on the counter. By 11:30 a.m., I locked the door behind me. By noon, I was gone. A ghost. I didn't leave a letter, not a note, not a speech, not a dramatic farewell. Just one message, texted at 12:04 p.m., delivered while he was at work. "You should have told the truth when you had the chance." He responded within seconds.
What? Where are you? What are you doing? Please come home. Please, please, please talk to me. Babe, please. I'm begging you. Don't do this. I can fix it. I can fix everything. Please, please don't leave. I didn't answer. Not once, not ever again. His friends messaged me. I didn't reply. His mom called me. I didn't answer. Liam wrote a long paragraph. I read it silently and deleted it. Ethan tried for months. Calls, emails, texts, voicemails, flowers, letters, long paragraphs, voice notes where he cried until he choked. Every message showed a man completely shattered. Mentally, emotionally, socially, financially, personally. He had lost everything he thought he controlled, everything he thought he owned, everything he thought he deserved. And he never once realized the truth. I didn't destroy him out of anger. I destroyed him out of clarity. He broke the person I used to be, so I became someone he would never survive. And just like that, my revenge ended. Cold, quiet, perfect. If this ending made you feel that dark little spark of satisfaction, tap like, hit subscribe, and stay with me for more stories where silence becomes the sharpest weapon. And in the comments, tell me, have you ever watched someone destroy themselves after hurting you?